Uh,
Hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday, on a week where Real Madrid showed that signing Jude Bellingham hasn't affected their ability to strengthen their squad by adding Mr. Chocolate Wrists himself, the world's most expensive goalkeeper. Yes, you did hear that right, Kepa. See, Liverpool fans, that's how to do desperation signings. Anyway, tonight on here to discuss the football and transfers are Ed25, Mr. Sport Billy, and hopefully anyway, Seamus, Ed 5.5. So how are you, Bill?
I'm good, thanks, Tristan, and good evening to anyone who's listening.
Yeah, well, if anyone listens at any point in
If
time,
anyone
yeah,
listening, yeah.
yeah. You never can tell.
No.
It's always this is the thing with doing this, is because you don't know until people start joining. You don't know whether anyone will actually join. It is quite, and you don't know whether anybody in the future will ever know it exists. So, it's
Yeah.
quite weird just talking. Basically, it's just us talking to ourselves and trying to pretend there's other people listening in the hope that somebody will eventually listen.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So, what you been up to, Bill? Partying?
Uh, no, I've been doing a bit of work, actually.
Oh.
Trying to get jobs backlogged, get them out the way, and so I can relax for the winter and
Oh,
do
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, I thought winter was there already.
No, it's quite good, nice at the moment, actually. Quite nice.
Is it? I
Did you
thought
get
this
your
was
visa?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it got. Oh, yeah, it was actually dead easy this time for some reason. Just in and out, almost like only a few hours, which is quick for the Philippines because everything is complicated here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Right, what are we going to move on to, mate?
right.
Are we going to start with the games
I
or
think
the
we should.
transfers?
I think we should just quickly zip through the transfers because obviously not much happened in the transfers this week, did they?
No, no, not
No,
much.
no, not much. Just what? Caicedo,
Yeah.
Elise rejected Chelsea. Though that was a nice. That cheered me up a bit. It must be said after. Though I've got to be honest, and I've said this before we even knew that we were going. Liverpool were going for him. I wasn't wanting him at Liverpool. I don't like his attitude and that. Uh, I think I'd have preferred in that video. The video I put that Bazza sent out that I posted in our WhatsApp group. I think I'd have preferred the one on the left.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice at the Sky Sports. If anybody doesn't know, Sky Sports did a video and they showed Moses Caicedo with what's obviously his mother, and then they said it's him on the right, just in case you were wondering which one it was. It's like
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Oh, sometimes the level of intelligence on Sky is just embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, other transfers. Obviously, Liverpool in for Endo to replace Hendo, which is quite nice. It's quite fitting. I'm
Yeah,
actually really excited about
I
that
don't think
transfer.
that's a bad sign at all, to be honest with you. I think he's okay.
Yeah, he
Well,
is really
seeing of him,
excited.
I don't think you need these 100 million players. Especially people like Caicedo. Definitely got an attitude problem. And
Oh, bro.
and I think you're better off with taking a chance on someone who might give you a good couple of seasons, who doesn't cost the earth. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's the way Caicedo claims every team's just the team he supported as a boy. He started off, he's been Man United now. We've actually got, Seamus sent me a video earlier of him being a translation of him talking about Man United being the team he supported. He's had Real Madrid, he's had Arsenal, he was apparently a fan of Arsenal as a boy, and now he was apparently a childhood Chelsea fan. I mean, apart from Robbie Keane, I don't think anybody in the history of football's ever had so many clubs they supported as a boy. But it's when he said about he watched McElhaney as a child, and that's his idol and all this, and you're thinking, bollocks, you weren't old enough to remember him playing, I don't care.
No, I don't think
He
it
was
was, no.
6 when McElhaney left, I think it was, Seamus says. I mean, come on. I don't remember anything from when I was 6. Certainly not football
Yeah.
players. You just don't.
I think you've dodged the bullet. I think Liverpool
Oh,
have dodged the
definitely.
bullet. They really did.
But I was
I
saying
was,
I didn't want him before we signed. This isn't after the fact me being bitter. I did not want him, and I've been on a lot saying about his attitude bothered me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't want him, so I was really glad, and I'm really happy with. And I think this is more suited to what Liverpool needed because they've got you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold can learn off him how to play the role, and
yeah.
it enables him to grow into it and take over. And you've got Bajetic, who needs someone to learn off. I think that's it. I think I'm really pleased. I don't know. I just don't understand why people are so upset about it and calling it a
Because
desperation.
everyone wants your team to spend 100 million on someone. They're expecting these massive signings, and they're just no good for the club. They're all mercenaries when it comes to money. All these big players. I don't care who they are. I think you're better with the likes of the Brighton model, which is trying to pick up people who are value for money, good players, rather than the ones who have already made it, who are superstars. And they're only interested in the money. They're not interested in the team they're playing for.
Yeah,
I think you've really dodged the bullet. I really do.
yeah, I'm really pleased we didn't get him. I mean, this is like I said, we've discussed him a few times, me and Seamus on here, and neither of us, both of us. I mean, we're like, he's someone we'd probably think, you'd want to avoid him. There's so many red flags about him. He's an avoid if anything. And
Yeah.
it was getting worse. And the way he's acted in this transfer window just suggests we've got very lucky to avoid him, especially at that fucking price.
Oh, yeah.
115 million. What the? Where did that come from? Like,
I was surprised Liverpool didn't drop him a bit earlier. That's what I am surprised about. When he started saying he wants to play for Chelsea and all that, it was still on the table, the offer. And I'd have took it off. I'd have took it off right away and said, if you don't want to come here, we don't want you. And I'd have ditched him before he ditched us, you know what I mean? If I was a Liverpool fan. That's what I'd have done.
and me. Anyway, Seamus has just joined us, so hello, Seamus. So that's ruined the sexiness of the podcast then already.
Is he with us yet? Are you there, Seamus?
He's definitely signed in. He's probably just can't figure out how to use his headphones again. It's difficult for him. He can't help it. He's not very bright. You've seen that when he's talking about physics and chemistry and he gets all mixed up and can't decide which is which and all that. Like, bless him. Is he going to talk? He has. He's broken his headphones again, hasn't he?
Probably.
No, I've broken my vocal cords.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah, greetings everyone. No, I was just letting you drag it on. Like, I was just saying how far you can besmirch my name.
Oh, we could go much, much, much further. But probably not in a public place. It's probably best not to.
Good evening,
So,
Seamus.
yeah, good evening to everyone.
So, what's your joke for today then? You've gotta lead in with a joke. I gave you a few crackers to use. Well, they were from Christmas crackers actually. Billy will know what I mean there. I'm not sure you get Christmas crackers in the fall, do you?
I just don't get what you're saying at all.
No, I didn't think you would. When we finish,
I
Google
didn't get the
Christmas
jokes
crackers.
either.
Oh, you didn't get the jokes? What? Oh, they were classic. That's no wonder you got no sense of humour. They were classic ones. Classically bad, admittedly. But...
No, I don't think this week needs any jokes because the biggest meme of the footballing world has apparently taken place now. Harry Kane moving to Bayern Munich so that they lose the Super Cup for, I don't know, maybe the first time in their history.
Yeah. Only
No,
Harry
not-
Kane could
like-
stop Bayern winning it, isn't he?
Yeah, no joke can top that. No any kind of joke can top that. So
Oh, bless him. See, that's why you're probably lucky you didn't sign him.
oh yeah, that's a very good point actually.
think Zach on the live chat's getting a bit confused. He just said Walcott has just been released by Everton and looking to retire. No, that was when he signed for Everton. He was looking to retire. Now he's got to. He went to Southampton since then, though. He's been with them for 2 seasons, hasn't he?
You think they'd be desperate for players, the players they've lost?
Yeah,
Did he not score against Liverpool? Am I just making
Probably.
things up? Or
He
did
always
score
seems to
against
do
Liverpool?
that. He's one of
No,
those.
last season.
He's
Yeah,
shit,
last season, I think.
He can be absolutely frigging awful, but he'll still put it in the back of the net against us, no matter how well we're doing. There's just certain players, that are just. You just think they're shit. Shane Long always gave Liverpool trouble. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen in my life. But he was always a problem for Liverpool. Bizarre. Coventry.
Yeah, so we're just discussing Caicedo's
Endo.
on-off move. And do you think Liverpool were lucky to avoid him?
I didn't we guys talk about this last week as well? Like, he's a good player, but he doesn't just come with a player as a package. He seems to be. I've shared a few videos with Chris as well. He seems to be some supporter for almost like half the universe.
Yeah. I was saying he sent me that one of him saying he was a Man United supporter as a boy. Obviously now he's
and then he was he was
Arsenal.
Yeah, he admired Arsenal in January when they were looking at him, and it was Real Madrid after the window actually.
That's where they're going next, probably. If it does any good.
I think that's silly money, so it's a.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not that he's proved anything yet. He's
He's proved himself to be a very good young player.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
But there are thousands of very good young players that never end up being a very good player eventually.
Yeah, very much so.
If it was a fee somewhere around what Soboslai cost, then you can say like he's a very good young player, huge upside. So it's a decent fee, but the upside far outweighs the downside. But you're breaking the British record.
Yeah.
It's one of the most expensive transfers, isn't it? Something like 4th on the list or something.
Yeah.
Can't be fourth.
Is it? Sure.
Yeah, because it's Ney, Mbappe, Coutinho, Hazard, Dembele. Those are the 5.
Oh, they heard.
Oh, Real Madrid were royally fucked when they won the Champions Leagues. The price for Hazard kept on growing. His weight also kept on growing.
I'd forgotten about Hazard being his value going up because he was less than that initially, but yeah, his price went up because of all the things they kept winning.
Despite him, that way.
Yeah, despite him is right.
Yeah, they're very much so. Though I tell you what, Burger King loved him.
No, he loved Burger Kings.
No, they loved each other. I think it was very much a romance of two like-minded peoples.
No, didn't he also admit to having a Nutella addiction or something?
Nutella, yeah, it was Nutella or something. He was addicted. It was he had a really bad diet. You know, it's a bit like me and you, Seamus. You know what I mean? It's like, but we're not professional athletes, so.
Our job doesn't require us to be fit.
Yeah, obviously Billy's different. He's a professional, tuned, well-trained, honed athlete who eats and looks after himself. No alcohol, no cigarettes, nothing like that in your house, is there, Bill?
Oh,
yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there, Sus. There's loads of that.
Yeah, that's about all there is, isn't it?
I think it's a case of you can talk shit about everything, but not about his fact.
Yeah, I went too far suggesting he didn't drink and smoke, didn't I? That was what it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two favourite pastimes, drinking and smoking.
Oh, your sex life must be crap then, Bill.
Oh yeah, it is.
What sex life?
Oh,
It,
bless him. The blue
no,
pill's not
it has
working.
to exist. It has to exist to be crap. It's non-existent.
Good point. Yeah, those blue pills aren't what they're cracked up to be.
They're not now.
Anyway, should we get back to the transfers? We got a little bit,
Go on, mate.
tiny little bit sidetracked there. Who else moved?
No, hang on. Since you mentioned the blue pills, a joke come up on my mind.
Oh god.
Oh man, there we go.
How do you spot a blind man in a nudist beach?
Go on. How do you spot a blind man on a nudist beach?
It's not hard.
Oh.
That's not bad for you, Deeps. That's not bad.
I still think mine would have been better choices for you.
But I didn't get that one.
How do you not get? I said two. What were they? I'm gonna have to find them now.
Maybe I was. Not maybe I was. No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think you
Well,
should
yeah, well, I
say
don't
that.
see how you didn't get the one about the S-bend on a toilet. I mean, I just can't get my head around it.
No. No, that one I didn't find funny actually.
Oh, I'm hurt. But how did you not get the other one? Okay, I'm gonna tell it just so anyone listening can know what I mean. It was, I met a dwarf psychic who had escaped from prison earlier. He was a small medium at large. What's wrong with that? That's classic.
I think I've dressed with that.
See, Billy
You
did
didn't
it.
get that, Deeps? Yeah, of course I did, yeah.
It was straight from Billy's joke book. I stole it. Anyway, sorry, can we get back to the transfers? Who else moved?
Yeah, go on.
Obviously, Kefir going to Real Madrid. That's a big move.
Yeah. A bad move, isn't it, for Real Madrid?
It's shocking.
Keeper?
What the hell was that all about? It's like they may as well have just said, you know what, we don't actually need a fucking keeper in the Spanish league, so we'll just go and get somebody. We'll just go and get someone to stand in goal. That's basically what they've done, isn't it?
No, it should have been Camavinga. That's his role.
Yeah.
Anybody gets in there, bring on Camavinga.
He's the emergency cover, I bet you. They could have signed Harry Kane. He's got history in goal, hasn't he? You know, he started out there, didn't he?
Yeah, he has. He played in goal, man.
Yeah, I famously sent those clips to Chris, haven't I?
Yeah.
What's John say up to?
Jack Harrison's gone to Everton. From Leeds?
From Leeds. Yeah, he's injured for about 6 months, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only out for
And
3 weeks.
And he's out one, yeah, but no, because you've haven't you got an international break for like 2 months after that or something?
It's only a week, I think. 2 weeks to international break.
Yeah, but he's not actually back. Basically, he's back in October, isn't it?
I think it's a bit less than that. People are speculating, they're not sure, but
No, but come on.
I don't think it's a bad sign. I don't think it's a bad sign.
No,
It's not about bad signing or good signing, like we said. He's not going to be fit for any games before the international break. It's 2 weeks international break. I think there's only one fixture for Everton in September, so it's probably likely going to be October. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, but you know, I think overall, as a loan move, because you're not exactly flush with cash, as we know. I think
No.
you're going to get. Poor Leeds, though. They've lost just about every one of their players, haven't they? They only need a minibus now.
Yeah,
They had a release clause. I've never heard of a relegation loan release clause before. That's got to be the first time. Has anybody actually known a player to have a relegation loan? Normally it's like, you know, if somebody comes, you know, if you get relegated, somebody comes in for you, we'll sell you. Is the deal, isn't it? You know, the clause. I've never known anyone get a loan release clause before. That is just unreal.
Nothing surprising me with football anymore.
No,
I've got to be honest.
Really odd though. Really odd situation. But I think you've got a decent signing there, yeah. Sean Dyche type of player. Works hard.
He's going to help.
Can score
He's going to
goals.
help.
and you need someone like him not being funny. You haven't got any real attacking threat in your side, have you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to come to the matches later, and that'll be discussed about Everton's lack of scoring. But who else has moved, Chess?
I was just thinking that I can't think who else. Obviously I'm a
You didn't cover
sorry.
Neymar. Did you guys cover
Oh
that?
yeah, he went to South, didn't he? I just you know, can't stand him. So I was kind of forgetting about that.
Yeah.
Good riddance to Sophie. Let's hope he'll fit in nicely there. Piece of shit, scumbag like him. Treats women like shit. He'll fit in nicely there.
Yeah.
It was either that or Man United, weren't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Seamus, I couldn't resist that one.
No, but
Uh,
we might have been on paper possible, but financially we can't afford to sign a
the Greenwood thing's got to be
30 million.
worrying now, isn't it? If let's be honest here. If he wasn't a good player, would there even be a consideration on what to do with him, or would he just be fucked off straight away? He'd have
Uh,
been long
I think
gone.
I think he would have had the same fate as Benjamin Mendy had.
Yeah.
He would have been sacked. He
Yeah.
would have been sacked.
Never played for
In
you
the
again.
absolute. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd never heard the name again for Man United. Let's be honest. If he wasn't any good, and to be fair,
no.
he is a good player.
But a
watch.
similar case can be made for Neymar as well.
Hmm.
Would he have lasted this much and been so much in demand if he wasn't this good?
Well,
Yeah.
wasn't as good as as people think. I'm not convinced he is as
Ah,
good as
no.
people think he is.
No,
but
no,
yes,
no,
I get
not
what you
this.
mean.
I personally believe naturally the Neymar is more talented than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, naturally.
He has
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has
that.
zero application. I think in my lifetime he's the second most talented player that I've watched play
I,
in his prime.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because I'm very young, Billy.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, you mean
I'm
Messi is
busy.
number one.
Yeah, well, just pure natural talent. If you
Yeah.
said no one can work hard, no one can work on the game and anything.
They'll
He's
never
a big
be
house.
in my favourite players. They'll never be my favourite players because of their attitude.
Yeah, I'm
You
the
know,
same.
I know they're skillful, but I can't get past Messi. I can't get past Messi being a greedy little shit. I can't get past Neymar being such a horrible person. So they don't come into great players for me. Skillful players, but not great players because you've got to have a bit more about you. In my personal opinion, that's all.
No, I'm with you on that. We a bit gutted. Speaking of application, we a bit gutted. Tom Davis has joined Sheffield United. That must be a bit of a disappointment to you to lose someone who
It
worked
is a
so hard for the
disappointment.
team.
He should have went 3 years ago, really, Tom. He just never, he never actually made it, did he? You know,
No.
good luck. Sure, he's moved on, and you know, got nothing against Tom Davis. I just don't think he was a very good player. That's all.
I see Renato Sanchez has moved on loan. Speaking of players with a bit of a weight problem and that, back to the Eden Hazard thing, except nowhere near as good. Left Paris Saint-Germain on loan to go to AS Roma. I don't get it with him. I really don't get it. Even when people saying he's had a good game, I've watched it and thought he's crap. I'm sorry, I just
You've
do
never
not
been a
see
fan.
it. No, I don't.
You've never been a fan, Chris. You'd have
No,
been
even before
Sanchez.
he joined whoever it was, I've forgotten now. And you know, in
Swansea.
England, Swansea. That's
But-
even before then. I thought this lad's shite. I don't understand why they're taking. But like you know, he
Then he went
proved
to
to be worse
Spurs,
than I
didn't
thought he was.
he?
I tell you who might have a bargain. Porto got that Alan Varela. Everyone was after him. I don't know how
Another
true it
Enzo?
is.
Another Enzo on their hands.
I think he'll be a big sale for them in the future if he carries on the trajectory he's on. But he's 22, but everybody was after him, so they done well with that one. Oh. Who else has moved? I'm trying to. Oh yeah,
Aymeric
David
Laporte.
Ray. Oh, David Ray joined Arsenal. Forgot about that. We did that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, Aymeric Laporte has gone to Saudi as well, I
Oh
think.
yes, yes. And one of my favourite named players, Kevin Lasagna, has joined Karagumruk from Ellisborough. It's not important in terms of the transfer. I just love the name Lasagna. It's one of my
And he's
favourite
Italian.
things. Yeah, I know.
And he's Italian
He
as well.
has to be Italian, doesn't he? He'd have to change his
Uh,
nationality if he wasn't.
Thing
Oh,
is, he won't pass the ball.
did we do Kovar last week?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that was
pass
my
the
first read.
ball. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck's
my rank.
sake. Oh, Billy. Oh, God. See what you've done now, Seamus. You've introduced bad jokes here. You probably missed that one, didn't you? Pasta, lasagna, pasta. Never mind.
Yeah, I know Billy said he can't pass the ball.
Nemanja Matic is still moving around. Gone to Rennes.
Yeah.
Yes, Roma.
They made
All
money. Roma made money on him. They brought him in for free and now they're getting a fee.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to believe that at his age. I mean, he looked finished about 10 years ago. He looked like his legs had gone.
No, not 10 years ago.
I'm exaggerating.
He,
Now. It's like
he had a
9.
he had a very bright start for us, man.
Yeah, and then it was like halfway through the season. This was something that was common with him. Every season was the same. He'd start off brilliantly, and then he'd just tail off as the season went on.
Yeah, he would be available for 60 games, but not be actually fit to play 60 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Not have the
Chelsea got
legs.
a loan fee for Kepa. They paid €1 million
No, I think
euros
they
to
pay.
borrow him. The hell? How do you get a loan fee for a keeper that shite?
I don't know how the finances are working on this, but surely De Gea wouldn't be much expensive.
And surely he's a better option as a short-term signing just for a season to cover. I don't get it. Bizarre. He's got to be better than Kepa as well.
Maybe he's gonna
that's
replace
awesome.
Kepa at Chelsea. Who knows?
And maybe the thing is, they said loan fee, €1 million, but it didn't say who was paying who to take him on loan. Maybe that's what I'm missing. Maybe it's Chelsea paid them $1 million. Look, please, just take him. Please, we'll pay. We'll pay you. I certainly would if I was them. James Ward-Prowse, you must be gutted to miss out on him, Bill, because he's gone to West Ham. 30 million.
I was quite happy to miss out on that match.
No, he's too expensive for Everton, anyways.
Yeah, but
He's not a very good player for me. Like he's good at free kicks and set pieces, but the rest of his game is very lacking. And I'm not sorry to have missed out on him at all.
No, I don't know why West Ham won him. Well, I do, because Moyes is picking the transfer target, so that explains everything, really, doesn't it? I see
And poor Harry got isn't going to West Ham apparently.
Yeah, don't get me started on it. I nearly christened David Moyes a legend.
His statue's being torn down as we speak at Old Trafford.
No, not at Old Trafford, outside my house.
Well, there's plenty of room for a statue outside your house, let's be honest. You got all them pillars along the front and that, you know. If the people are listening, just think of, like, you know, any of these big, like, country houses the rich
Buckingham
in the UK
Palace.
have.
No.
No, Buckingham Palace is only a small one. They've got much bigger. You know, one of these really big, one of the really
White House
big
then?
ones. Yeah,
The White House of the US president.
And then add some, because it's a lot bigger, his house. It's a mansion, mate.
Yeah, it is a mansion. So
It's almost a city on its own, isn't it, Bill?
Mecca, it's like Mecca.
Yeah.
People go there to worship.
Yeah. What else? Oxlade-Chamberlain moving to Besiktas.
He must be gutted.
He must
be gutted, Chris.
No, he obviously
He
just
was
doesn't.
gonna be your savior now.
I like Ox, but it's just a shame. It's his injury's such a shame.
He
But I
never got
just
over
think
that big injury, did he?
yeah,
He just never got over that. And he was doing well before that injury.
it's just
But
it's just
in the end, he had to get rid of him.
at least he obviously doesn't need money because he's gone to Besiktas, who will half the time don't pay the wages, so he's not gone there. So you definitely know he's not gone for the money. 'Cause that's one of the problems the Turkish clubs have, isn't it? They don't. Oh, Fred, of course, I
Yeah.
missed Fred. Shit, who did he go to? I forgot.
Fenner, isn't it Fenner?
I can't remember.
Went to
It was one of
Fenerbahce.
because he went to one of the. But yeah, I was going to say he went to one of them, didn't he? Yeah,
Yeah,
Fenerbahce. Yeah.
Fenerbahce.
You actually got money for him as well. Wow.
Ah, we got ripped off.
Oh, no,
It should be much higher.
Cameron, you paid 50 million for him, but you managed to get, was it 7.5 million roughly? Wow. But that's
But
that's true
that's
value, even in this
no, no, no.
crazy transfer window.
No, I think he's a better player than that.
Okay. You're probably the
He,
only person in history
no, no,
that
no.
does, but yeah.
He himself sums his play up quite nicely. He's like for when he talks about Brazil team, why he gets picked. Like, Brazil has a lot of musicians, a lot of piano players. He can't play the piano, but they need someone to carry the piano around. He's
Yeah.
the guy.
That's a Bill Shankly quote he's paraphrasing. He always said,
Yeah,
football,
he's
you
the
need
guy
six
that
to carry
carries
the
around
piano
the
and 3 to
pianos.
play it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Adama Traore, you must be gutted to miss out on him as well, Bill. I mean, it's no wonder you ended up
Yeah,
with just Jack
yeah, I'm a
Harrison
big
because he went
fan.
to Fulham.
You must be
I'm a
glad,
big
Chris. You must be happy that you missed out on him.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm glad, yeah, no, yeah, because we nearly
No,
liked him.
when he thinks not long back, the time of trail on it.
I'm just glad
Shows
it's not for us. Christ. Who else? Usman Dembele gone to Paris Saint-Germain.
Finally, the movie's complete.
Yeah. Is
Now
that
he's
what? Is
mature.
that what
Yeah,
made Mbappe happy?
yeah. Obviously, not that someone else has put it out.
The minute he signed, Mbappe says, "Oh, okay, I'll stay then. I'll sign a new contract." Yeah.
No, he's not signed a new contract.
No, but he's indicated he will, won't he?
Because PSG said if you leave us for free, then we'd have to sell half the squad and sack all the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, basically he's been put under pressure. I know it. It's just a joke about the Dembele thing. Gustavo Hamer joined Sheffield United from Coventry. I don't know if any of you have seen him, but everybody who watches the Championship always said that he was the best player in the Championship. So that might be a good
okay,
sign.
never him.
But best midfielder, I should say, in the Championship apparently. I've not seen much of him. I've only watched him a couple of times, and he was very good. But yeah, every time you read any of the people talking about midfielders, they all love him always. So he could make a difference. I was a bit surprised he didn't go somewhere. Who else moved out? Harry Kane we've done, haven't we? I think that might be it now, isn't it? Unless I've missed anyone. If anybody can think of anybody else.
No, I can't think of anyone else.
Can't believe they still managed to get 80 odd million for Harry Kane. And only 1 year left in his contract. This transfer window is insane. It's not like he was going to go anywhere else. He wasn't happy there. I don't understand how they've managed to get such a big fee for him. It's incredible. So, yeah.
Very good players, but with 1 year left on the contract, you wouldn't think they get paid that much.
Oh, yeah, it would be perfect player for what Bayern needed in terms of as a player. But, you got to question whether he can actually win anything. Because he does seem to have a curse on him, doesn't he? What else? Oh yeah, the one more. You forgot about Chimiti.
Oh, Chimiti, yeah. He played the other night against Manchester United. We played behind closed doors against Manchester United. Got beat 2-0. And nil again, even though Chimiti played.
Tim Krul joined Luton as well.
Oh God, yeah, forgot Luton are in the Premier League. Sorry, I actually skipped past that. He went there from Norwich. Sorry, apologies for missing that one out. I just completely, completely went over my head that they were in the Premier League when I looked through.
And so, I think we should mention Santi Cazorla rejoining
Oh
Real
yeah,
Oviedo. Nice
I
deal.
I love Santi Cazorla. Oh, and Iniesta's gone to Ras Al Khaimah in the UAE. And I know that's probably not of interest to anybody but me, but I absolutely love Iniesta. I'm almost tempted to return to Dubai just so I can go and watch him every week. I love Anders Iniesta. I'd be the fanboy following him round. You know, with the fans saying, "Can I have your shirt?"
He was a good player, Iniesta. Very good player.
Oh, I loved him. Absolutely loved him. Right, anyway, should we move on to the matches then? So, do you want to start?
Yeah.
What would it... I don't actually know what the first fixture was. Now I've lost track. It
Arsenal.
was Friday.
Man City. The first game was Man
Yes,
Oh,
City.
sorry, Manchester, yeah.
Of course it
Yeah,
was.
against
Yours truly had a terrible start to his fantasy team
You
because of that fucking
deliberately
game.
hampered. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Jinxed Man City.
Yeah, at least 3 months.
That is
Yeah,
actually. Sorry.
That's a big loss, isn't it, for City? KDB, great player, but
City
he has
isn't
now
important. City isn't the important team. My team is the important one.
I don't think anyone really cares about your fantasy football team unless you're going to unless it's about who you're making as captain to replace him. Was it Reece James by any chance?
No, if this player gets injured, then it's officially gonna be a curse. It's someone who never gets fit. Sorry, never gets injured. Always fit as a fiddle. Egyptian. Egyptian.
Oh, you haven't picked Salah, you bastard. I hate you. If he gets injured, I will fly there.
I'm gonna build this up.
I'll fly there to string you up if Salah gets injured now. And I won't be the only one, I'm sure. There'll be a lot of people coming round. Half of Egypt will be there for starters. Oh my god, I can't believe you did that.
I just hope Darwin starts.
Oh god, that's scary.
Oh. So Man City played, who was it? Burnley.
Burnley, yeah.
Stroll in the park.
I will be honest. If someone put a gun to my head, the only Burnley players I can name is James Trafford, the keeper they signed. And I don't know anyone else.
There's not even any of their other stellar signings.
Nope.
Yeah. And Howard got a brace again, which is unusual for Ireland. He usually gets 3. But yeah, he got a brace.
I was gonna say the same, Billy.
Yeah. he's obviously on his way out then. His form's gone. It's deserted him. He's not where he once was. That's it. His career's finished. He only got 2 against Burnley. Oh dear.
Yeah.
In real trouble.
Burnley. We thought, well, it got said on the last podcast that Burnley could have a good chance of staying up. But that's a good Man City side, don't get me wrong. But they didn't look at the races really against City. And I was a bit disappointed in them, to be honest with you.
But that isn't the same. That isn't the kind of game that, you judge them on.
No, you can't, absolutely. I'm not saying that. But I thought they might have given them a better game. But they never.
Yeah, I think those are the kind of games that I think they're the kind of games that just get stuffed in, and they're It's just the way it is. City is so far above them. They're really what
Yeah,
they need to do in games like that. They're just the top 4, 5, 6 maybe teams. They just need to sit in and defend and look to get a result from. But he's not going to do that, and I like that about him. I'm pleased, but it's not going to help them get results.
no,
Not that that's a bad thing. It's like it shouldn't be
no,
only just about results. Sometimes it should be about the long-term effects it has on a team. You keep playing the way you play, and you get better at it. Your team gets more used to it, even if you have bad results, and you learn from the bad results, and
yeah.
you see what you can
It
do
was a
to
really
improve
hard
again.
start for them, wasn't it? It
Yeah,
really was a hard start for Burnley. Probably not what they wanted as a start, but it's what it is. What it is, and
got it out the
you
way
know,
though.
yeah, absolutely, it's got out the way.
So yeah,
And
he's
they
just
won't be the only team who City are going to beat this year, are they?
no, probably quite a few. They normally do, even without what's his face, KDB.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Should we move on then? Arsenal Forest was the next match, wasn't it? Or was it?
Yeah, it was, and I was disappointed, with Arsenal. Puffed and puffed along, got off to a great start, but as the game went on, they seemed to get worse. I don't know whether that's just me, but they didn't look. I know they're still better than players, but I didn't think they looked great, Arsenal. They started off really well. Looks as though they were going to. And the goal by Saka was fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
Fantastic effort
bad
by
defending.
Saka. I thought he'd done well to cut across and then put it in with his left foot into
He was shown
the
his
far
side, I
corner.
thought. He stood off, the defender stood off him and let him, I think. Is my issue with that. I think that
Oh,
was made too easy, personally. But
I
great
thought,
play
I
by
thought it
him.
was
We
a really
can't
good
argue
goal.
with what Saka done. It's a great goal.
No, no.
But defensively, you
Yeah,
just
it
have
was
to
a great
question.
goal.
First off, bad giveaway of the ball by Gibbs White, who was fucking awful. Must be said, he was fucking
Yeah.
terrible. How he stayed on the pitch, I don't know, but he was dreadful. Yeah, and Saka did what he had to, did brilliantly to score. But I'd question the defending on that, and I'd also question why Cooper didn't go for it a bit sooner, because they looked really good once they went for it.
Yeah, yeah,
He was so impressive. Awoniyi,
yeah.
still a bit
They,
gutted we
they
didn't.
frightened them. They did frighten them. That once they come back into the game and got a goal back, I thought they were the better side. They looked very nervous, Arsenal. In my opinion, they look nervous, and it doesn't bode well. That it could have been 3 up, maybe 4 up, but once Forrest got back into it, they didn't look a great side at all. I don't know whether that counts, but I wasn't that impressed with Arsenal. But it's early doors and they're better than people, so might just be a one-off thing.
To be fair, that Awoniyi's a bloody handful for anybody. The one
Yeah,
thing
it
that
is. Yeah,
you could take from his time in the Bundesliga is he gets in good positions. But you deliver the ball in, he's going to be in good position. He's at a really high. His stats on getting into position are really good, but he misses a lot of chances too. But man,
yeah.
he's a brute. You wouldn't want to, bump into him at night, because you'd be flying, because he's a monster of a guy, isn't he? He was
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely ragdolling those Arsenal defenders about. Even Saliba was really struggling with him. That's when you know you've got
yeah,
a player, when someone like Saliba's struggling.
yeah. He's good. Very good.
I just don't know why they didn't bring him on a bit sooner. And the other thing I don't get is, why did he bring on Chris Wood later on? I mean, what the fuck did he offer? They were doing really well, then he brought on Chris Wood, and it was like they just, it
Stop.
killed it, yeah. Killed all the momentum they gained. And he wasn't playing up top either, he was playing off of Awoniyi. I mean, what was that all about?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're going to bring him on, you put him on alongside Awoniyi, surely, and then you can ping the ball high and long. And hit his head, at least. There's 2 of them up there. It's a strange one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the early game. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to say though, one of the Liverpool, you can see why Liverpool signed him a few years back, and it was just unlucky he could never get a work permit for Liverpool. Yeah, so because he might have been something, maybe. Probably wouldn't get in the team, to be fair, maybe, but maybe. Right, Bournemouth West Ham next. Anybody see this?
I never actually seen that game. It's not wouldn't be one that would be on high on my list.
No.
But West Ham and that took the lead. Bowen again. Who's, to be fair, he's done nothing wrong, has he? Jared
He's
Bowen.
back on form, isn't he?
Yeah, scored a good goal. And Bournemouth fought back and got a draw. So I thought they'd be one to struggle, Bournemouth, myself, personally. But it's not a bad result, 1-1. I think it was a fair result. So,
from what the West Ham fans are saying, basically Moyes did as usual. They took the lead and then everyone dropped back deep and just defends for the rest of the game. And it's no
that's
wonder
got Moyes written all over it.
season. Yeah. When you've clearly got the quality in that West Ham side, I mean they've spent lots of money since he's been there. They should be capable of just going out there and beating Bournemouth. I mean, they took the leads. They should have just gone and got a second and put it to bed, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Just a job, doesn't it? That's a Moyes trait, isn't it? Get a lead and then try and keep hold of it. That's his MO.
Yeah, that's why he's never going to go further than teams like West Ham, to be honest. No insult to it. Not meant as an insult to West Ham. I mean, it's just like where they are. They're not challenging for trophies normally. Anyway, next one, because I watched the Everton game, I got to be honest, at this time, because there was like 4 games on at once, weren't there? Brighton and Hove Albion versus Luton Town. I mean, it sounded like a stroll in the park, but I don't know whether it was or not. You'd expect it to be, though.
Yeah, I never actually. Yeah, it sounds like a bit of a hiding, doesn't it? But it was always going to be difficult for Luton. But
a team like Bolton, no, I meant a team like Brighton.
Right.
They're the team you really don't want to face if you're a team like Luton early on, because they're the kind of team that if they're on it, they're going to rip you to shreds. No matter how good a team you've got, they can do that. So a team like Luton, really don't want them.
No.
Them and City, I think, are the 2 best passing teams in the league. So
yeah, possibly.
So they can just destroy you, and if your fitness is not perfect, which it usually isn't in the first few games of the season. Yeah, it's a shame he's still with us. He's been very quiet.
Yeah.
Has he fallen asleep again? Probably
No, I don't.
He's just waiting for us to talk about United. Is that what it is?
I don't think he is. I wouldn't be a United supporter.
Well, I don't know. They did win, and let's face it, they don't get embarrassed.
Yeah, winning is what counts.
They don't get embarrassed by the fact that it's cheating that wins it for them, because they're used to it. It's the way it's been since the days of Ferguson. He's instigated.
Yeah, says the guy who's supposed to leave Liverpool.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, because we really get.
This is not the time.
This is like that, yeah, because we didn't get a decision, remember. Anyway, so we move on to the big game on Saturday, the Everton Fulham one. I actually watched this game.
Do you know what? Everton never done too bad. They played all right, but the age-old thing with Everton. Can't put the ball in there. The Corey missed an absolute sitter. He only bats a put it to the left to Garner, and he had an open goal. I don't blame him for going for it, but you've got to get the ball in the air a bit and hit the goalie's foot. It's okay, decent save by the keeper, but it should have really been buried. And very poor finishing. And we had so many chances, Everton, that there should have been 3 up at half time. I didn't think much of Fulham, to be fair. I thought Everton had the best of the game, thought they had the best of the chances. But the age-old thing, if you can't put the ball in the net, you're not going to win many games, are you?
what bothered me with Everton is a few of their players didn't look good. I mean, Garner Guy looks so far off the pace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
He
he's
looks
struggling.
finished. Yeah, he looks
Yeah, he
finished
does.
to
Yeah,
me. Decore and that roll off the forward. Yeah, he can play it really well. He's always a problem for the defence, but he just misses too many chances. And, not
yeah,
just as in like he misses shots. I mean, he misses chances, like you said, to play in somebody else and that. He makes the wrong decisions at the vital moment far too often to be. He's definitely better
yeah,
for me, a bit further back as a box-to-box midfielder. He should be
yeah.
getting
That's
in
it.
later rather than earlier. Trying to think what
But
else.
there's no one there. There's no one there who can be DCL's out to be a target man. And he's the one who's got to make that to go further forward to try and score a goal. He was terrible with his miss, but that's what he's got to do because there's no focal point of the attack at the moment. So he's the one coming forward. So, I rate him going forward. And he is big box to box. But Everton have got to get a scorer. They've got to get someone who can put the ball in. Because Mopé worked very hard, actually. He did work hard. He got in good positions. But he couldn't finish his dinner. He really couldn't. He's lacking confidence. The abuse he got online afterwards was absolutely incredibly bad. His own fans as well, by the way, most of it. And, although I'm not a fan of Maupay, I've never been a fan of him. You don't know what no footballer deserves abuse like he got, and death threats and things like that. It's just not on. And it was a bit sickening, to be honest with you. And I'm not Maupay's biggest fan, but that's way over the top what happened to him. He tried hard, and he does try, and he works, but he just is not good enough to play in the Premiership for me as a striker, a goal scorer.
But that's
Because
not
he's
his
just
fault
not
at the end
that.
of the day.
It's certainly not, no. No, you've got to look at Sean Dyche there to actually putting him in. But who else has he got?
Whoever bought him in the first place as well, it's like you can't blame him for
Yeah.
taking the chance. And if he wasn't trying, you could complain about him. But the lad's a trier. He deserves a bit of gratitude for that.
Yeah, if he can play off another striker, he might be a lot better player. Picking up second balls, playing as a false nine, in behind a target man like Calvert-Lewin. But at the moment, he can't lead the line. He's not big enough to lead the line either. But he got in some great positions, but just couldn't finish it off. And if he'd have got a goal, it might have done him the world of good, But we never. And Everton should have easily won that game. So,
I don't think a goal would have helped him. He's still going to be crap, Bill. Yeah, I know you hope.
Yeah.
But
I'm hoping for his sake that, that if he did get a bit of confidence and scored a goal, that the fans might be on his side. Because everyone was nervous when he got the ball. When he missed the chance, he missed two good chances. And, you could hear the sighs in the crowd. He must have heard it, he's hearing it. And it'll do him no favours. But he's just not good enough, Neil Maupay. As much as I respect that, I hated what happened to him online. In the end, he's just not good enough. No,
yeah, he shouldn't be there. We know that. So, anything else to add on the game? Seamus, you got anything to add?
No.
Not really. I was just surprised that Fulham, despite all the seeming negativity around the club, managed to get a victory at Goodison. It doesn't augur well for Everton, actually.
No, but one thing I will say, we played okay, We played okay. If we put the ball in the net, Everton would have won that very comfortably. We was by far the better side, But it is what it is.
What are you doing, Seamus?
But if my grandmother had wheels, it would have been a bike.
What the?
I like that bit. I get what
Oh,
you're saying.
you
Yeah,
can't
it's
say anything
all
to that
if.
one.
Yeah, it's all if, but yeah, it is not if, sadly.
Yeah, let's move on from
Oh,
Everton now.
oh, Seamus, guess who's just joined the chat?
I know.
Oh,
Somebody's hard, isn't he?
somebody's woken up to see you, that's what it is. Oh, couldn't stay away. Hiya, Rob. Anyway, should we move on? Crystal Palace beat Sheffield United 1-0. I didn't see that game, I have to be honest. 'Cause,
No, I didn't know. It's not
again,
what I'd
same
be
time
looking
as
to
Everton
see.
Fulham.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, should we just, there's not really a lot to say about it, really, is there? It's kind of the expected result.
No,
So we'll move on. Newcastle United Villa was the final game on
Well, hang
Saturday.
on. Since we just mentioned Crystal Palace, maybe we should mention that Michael Olise has signed a new contract there.
Oh yes, did we not
yeah.
mention that earlier? Sorry. Yeah, that was. I thought we did. Might have been before you joined us actually. Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Said no thank you to Chelsea. So I can't see why they wanted him anyway. They've got about four. You know, it's one thing they didn't need is another midfielder. They bought about 60.
Another offensive player is. They need a out and out striker if they
Exactly.
someone like a Haaland who can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but 3 times, not twice. So not really Haaland, obviously, because his powers are waning now, as we've already covered.
Yeah.
Not the player he once was. Let's be honest.
And Pep had a go at him, apparently. Seen that.
On the way
Having a
off.
go when he come over at our time, yeah. At our time, you know, a little
He
go
does
at him. I don't
that.
know what for.
How he does that, Pep? It's stage managed. It's
Yeah.
to keep people on their toes. It's just his way of trying to act like he hasn't got the balls to
Yeah,
actually call
yeah.
anyone out in reality. Let's be honest. It's not his way. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, go on.
Newcastle we went on, weren't we?
Yeah, Newcastle thrashed Villa. I've got to admit, I started watching that. It was 1-1 and I fell asleep because it's like late here, obviously. And I just couldn't stay awake any longer and missed most of the goals. So
Newcastle were very good, to be fair.
they were the better. They were the better side.
They looked a really good side. Yeah. And they're a real threat going forward. And
Charlie was getting forward well. That was shocked me. I thought he was supposed to be a defensive midfielder.
No, I told you before as well. If anybody is expecting him to be a defensive midfielder, then that's not gonna make the best use of him. That is what I told you before as well.
Yeah.
He's not a defensive midfielder. Just because he's Italian and plays in midfield, has long hair, doesn't mean he's a deep lying player.
Yeah, he was very good. And Bruno was excellent as well.
Yeah, he's got playing him there.
Oh, I'd love him at
Liverpool. They looked as though they were going to score every time they got the ball. Couple of great finishes, Isaacs, good goal. And yeah, they looked a threat, a real threat, full of energy and full of skill as well. And they're going to be a side that, you know, I'm not saying they're going to win the league and might even finish in the top places, but they looked a really good side.
I think they'll be a threat this season. They look to have stepped up, but what it comes down to is keeping players fit for them. Because they haven't got a strong squad, they've got a strong team. So
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, they've still got a way to go to get squad.
They were impressive though. You know, you can only do as much as you can do on the pitch, and they were very impressive. Villa, not so much. I thought they were a better side than what they looked on there. But that's taken away from Newcastle, and you shouldn't do really. But they didn't look a great side, Villa.
That's happened with Emery's sides. They can be very inconsistent. It was quite a surprise that they had such a good run last season, because often that's the thing with them. They can be very up and down. Be brilliant one week, and you're thinking, "Oh wow, what a side they are," and then you watch his team the following week, and you think, oh, they're awful. What happened? What's going on? It's that they are very. It is something about the way he coach. I don't know what it is, but it's often, when I've watched his teams in Spain, I've thought they're very odd to watch. There's not really a lot more to say about that. It was so one-sided.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
before Villa, I think Villa had a period when they equalised. Was about the only time when they actually got in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're part, and then obviously I fell asleep after that, so can't say any more. But what I saw, it was very, very much a
Yeah.
deserved win for Newcastle.
Absolutely, it was. Yeah. Very good.
Anything to add, Seamus?
I think it's too early to be saying any team is gonna be challenging for the league or anything. It's just one game.
Yeah.
Calm down, guys. I just want to say, calm down.
Oh,
Just
you're
one
just
game.
trying to get that in. You're just trying to say things just so Rob can hear you. Sound intelligent for him. That's what it is. Let's be honest.
And let's not forget, it's also gonna have them playing in the Champions League as well this season for Newcastle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bound to take a toll. I hope it doesn't. I hope for the sake of their project and for the league as well, that no team falls off. But
I don't mind if it means that we finish above them. I already don't care, to be honest.
Chris, do I need to remind you, man?
The way we're playing.
Oh. You're Europa League. You are Europa League team. Don't even think about winning the league. Nobody wins the league when they're playing in Europa League.
But that's why I was saying we need teams like Newcastle to struggle in Europe. Struggle because they're playing in the Champions League to give us a chance to get them back into the Champions League. That's what I was saying. Help us out. Well, yeah, like it said, Kai reckons you sound constipated. You wonder what Cal. It's Cal. My eyes are going. Fuck me, I can't read that properly. Cal. I think he's got a point. He definitely doesn't sound normal. Next one, Brentford Tottenham Hotspur. Did anybody watch that? Apart from me, I did.
No, I didn't see that game. No, I didn't see the game. What were the like this?
Do you know what? For long periods of that game in the first half, it was very much Tottenham were getting destroyed. They were using a similar, the inverted fullback system, which is Andy Postecoglou's favourite way of playing. So we knew he was gonna bring it. That's the way he always plays. But Brentford just destroyed them down the flanks all game. All first half they were absolutely overrunning them, and you would think, when after Tottenham scored first, but Brentford just were ripping them to shreds. Got their 2 goals, and you thought they could go on and get a cricket score here. Tottenham just haven't got a clue. Then half time came, and it was like a different game in the second half. Tottenham nullified them, kept hold of the ball better, and got the draw in the end. But still,
what was Charleston like this?
Awful.
Was he? Yeah.
He struggled to get into the game. He's playing up front. With the problem is with this inverted fullback system. What happened is, and it's why Tottenham were very lucky to get the goal. It was a wonder strike by the fullbacks. But how often is that going to happen? It's really rare. It's going to happen. But the thing is, what they do with this inverted fullback thing is, the fullbacks are where the wide forwards are now playing as out-and-out wingers out really wide. So you got Kulusevski and Son out really wide. Kulusevski even, yeah. Sorry. Kulusevski and Son out really wide. And the fullbacks are inside where they, making runs into them inside channels that you'd want that you'd want a striker basically or a wide forward in. And so most of the attacks are going to fullbacks rather than, Fullbacks are right around the edge of the box picking up the loose pieces and that. You're thinking you want an attacking player there, not a fucking fullback. The fullback should be out wide delivering rather than Son and Kulusevski. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. This system, these inverted fullback things, it's just bollocks. It's just people trying to be clever, and that doesn't work. Being clever for the sake of it is stupid. It's that simple. You've just got to keep it simple, for fuck's sake. Just put the fullbacks out wide as your wide forwards can get in where they can score goals. You've got a goal scorer like Son. Why do you want him playing as wide as he can possibly be, rather than in right around the edge of the... You want him in and around the edge of the penalty box where he can put the ball in the back of the net.
He's a threat there, isn't he, Son? He can be a great player. He had a terrible season last year. Why, I don't know, but he had a really bad season. But there's no doubt he's got quality. You know, he's a quality player for me. And you know, is he going to be the main striker now, or is it going to be Richarlison?
And he was completely isolated. Because, like, you know, Son and Kulusevski were out wide. It was a stupid way of playing, and that nearly cost them. The thing is, Tottenham are so many magnitudes better than Brentford. Brentford are not a particularly good team, really. Without Tony, you know, the strikers are really struggling. You know, they've still got 2 goals because they just ripped Tottenham apart so easily. It could have got loads, you know. They were rolling through them, just putting it wide. All they would do is putting it to one flank, exactly the same as Chelsea did later against Liverpool. Put it in one flank, and as soon as the defenders shift over, because obviously the fullbacks are inside, so they can't get over there. So you've got the centre backs moving over, so the whole defence is shifting over that side, and you just put it in the space on the other side, and it's, you know, you're in on goal. Because everybody's moved over to the left or the right, whichever side, and you know the other wing, you know, the other side is completely open. It's ridiculous. Really, you're not a fan
of the inverted fullbacks, are you, sir?
Oh, it's idiotic. It doesn't make any sense. It's terrible. But yeah, no. Carl said Mbeumo impressed him. I thought he was very poor. He's not a goal scorer for me. He's a very good, hard-working player, but he just doesn't score enough goals for my liking. He missed too many chances. That's what Brentford's problem is going to be. They could have wrapped that game up in the first half. They could have been out of sight and, you know, had it won, but they didn't, because they just don't have the firepower without Tony, and that's going to be. You can see that's going to be a problem for them this season, because that was a game they should have come away with a win from.
Yeah. 2 in a row, frankly.
2-1. Tottenham scored first, but it wasn't like...
Oh, did they? All right. I thought
and then Brentford just tore them to shreds after that. I mean, it was just like, you know, you're thinking this could be one of those games that goes down in history as Spurs falling apart, because they were destroying them. And in the second half, it was like, they just like didn't get going. Brentford. Yeah. So, I don't know, they just didn't get going at all, and then Tottenham were like just sitting, you know, pushing them further and further back, and I don't know, that Whisper they've got isn't that good, and you know.
Was it a fair result?
In the end, yeah, but like really, it shouldn't have been, because Brentford should have been so far out of sight. Tottenham couldn't have done anything to catch them up in the second half. That's how it should have been.
Right.
But yeah, it was fairly fair. I mean, they didn't really create a lot, Tottenham. It must be said. But the system they're using, all their best player, you know, their best attacking players are now sat out on the wings, well away from the goal. So, they're just not. They're going to struggle with it unless they can figure out how to use it. But they need proper wingers and put Son put Son inside. In fact, I would have thought even just swapping Richarlison and Son around would have improved things for them, because Richarlison, whatever he is, he's a hard grafter. He works hard. He's got some skill. Yeah. He does, you know, he has got decent ability, but he's not a goal scorer, an out-and-out goal scorer. He's definitely better out wide, drifting in. But then again, is he a kind of player that can play as an out-and-out winger? He's more of a wide forward again. They just haven't got the players to suit the system they're trying to play. Same as Liverpool. It's just stupid. I just don't understand it. Anyway, yeah. So, did you see any of it, Seamus?
No.
Oh, right. I wondered if you had an opinion on it. Oh well, we'll move on to the Chelsea-Liverpool game then.
Finally, a game I watched.
Oh, so go on then, Seamus. Start us off.
It was a fun, entertaining watch. For the first half an hour, one team dominated, the team in red. Then
Yeah.
something just happened all of a sudden. Chelsea scored, and then Chelsea were all over Liverpool.
Hey, do you know what? My notes say different because I was making notes every time somebody attacked and that. I had Chelsea were ripping Liverpool apart from the flanks well before Liverpool scored. That
No, but
as
Chelsea,
the
but
captain.
Chelsea, but before that, Chelsea were just if let's say they were attacking, then it was what's his name,
It was just
Sterling and James, Sterling and James,
mm,
James just getting in, but no, there was no support for Chelsea, so there was no real threat.
yeah, that was the difference. Is they actually started getting forward. Once they went behind, they started throwing bodies forward. That was the difference. They were,
I thought Liverpool started off well, to be honest with you. I thought he started off well, and when they got one up, and Salah had a goal disallowed, which would have made a total difference to the game. But it was disallowed, and rightfully so. He was offside. But Chelsea then seemed to do the majority of the attacking. And first 25 minutes, Liverpool for me. Second 20 of the first half, I thought Chelsea were on top.
I agree.
And,
Yeah.
but I've got an issue with the game. In particular, was the penalty should have been allowed for me. When I seen that on the telly, we were in the pub watching it, and everyone was saying it's got to be a penalty. There wasn't that much fuss kicked up when it was disallowed.
For what penalty?
With the handball.
He had his arm
His hand,
out.
Yeah.
his arm was by his shoulder, and he hits his hand.
I know it looks
It's a penalty according to the
horrendous.
rules of the game. It doesn't matter whether it was his arm was up and out away from the. It's supposed to be within the within the.
A natural position. It's got to be in a natural position, and only goalkeepers have their hands above the shoulders, like he had his by his shoulder. It was a penalty. It had to be a penalty. Did you see the incident, Deeps? Did you see it?
Yeah. On in the first viewing, regular time, it looked a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, it did.
Because that's not what it means. But yeah, go on. Doesn't mean certainty at all, Stonewall. But anyway, yeah, go on.
But on different angles, you can see the ball was very close to him when he deflected off of Diaz's head. So I can understand. No. Let me say. I can understand the refs not giving this a penalty. The issue is gonna come when next time something like this happens. It's gonna be a clear-cut penalty then.
No. The thing is, you can understand the referee not giving it initially, but why didn't VAR give it when they can see what it is?
No, Tris, my issue isn't as much as the VAR's not awarding this one as penalty. My issue is that this same incident is gonna get awarded penalty next week.
Yeah, and every game.
And that's unfair, and that's gonna be unfair.
Yeah, it's every game. You'll see it given that kind of handball will be a penalty in every other. Yeah, it's a penalty. That's why I was saying on the Liverpool side. Somebody asked me. I was saying they just need to change the rules, clear out all this bloody thing. This subjective, whether it's where your arm is and all that. If it hits your arm, just give a freaking free. Just give a penalty or handball anyway, depending on where it is on the pitch, and then everyone knows where they are. Simple as that. That's what they do in Spain. It works. It's not ideal. It means sometimes there's harsh penalties given. It happens. But that's why all these players, you see them all put their arms behind their back. That's where it comes from, because the way the Spanish play. So they're trained to put their arms behind the back when defending in the box.
But that
I,
brings in the questionability of VAR, doesn't it?
well,
Because
but then they've
you
only
know,
got to look
it
to see
doesn't-
if it hits the arm or not. There's no angle, there's no, whoa, where was
yeah.
his arm and all that. No, it doesn't matter. Did it hit his arm or not? That's all they've got to look for then. It does help.
I'm calling corruption. I am. I'm not just the Liverpool instance. We're going to get on to Man United in a minute. So there's another instance. They're not fit for purpose, VAR. It's not fit for purpose. And it's no use having VAR if they don't change things that are blatant and obvious for me. It's their job to assist the referee and to make a call. And they should make a call and get it reviewed and say, that ball hit the man's hand, which was level with his shoulder, so it's not a natural position. It's in the box, it's a penalty. And, whether you're a Liverpool fan or whether it doesn't matter, it's got to be given that to have any credibility.
But this thing about the natural position, I mean, that's ridiculous because the natural position is when you go into defence, your natural instinct is to spread yourself as wide as possible. So you put your arms out. That's the natural position.
Yeah.
Anybody that says otherwise is incorrect because your natural instinct is when you're trying to stop someone going around you. Put your arms out. It's just natural. It doesn't mean it's right. It's what it's what, you have to actually be trained not to put your arms. You have to physically think not to put your arms out, and that's so. This natural position
But that
thing
was
is ridiculous because you can't have. Yeah,
that was so that high.
Yeah, I know where he had his arm. I mean, that made this. It's like it shouldn't have been there. It's that simple. But end of the day, it wasn't given, and Liverpool wouldn't have deserved to win. They didn't play well enough to win. At times they were absolutely decimated down the wings. It was embarrassing to watch. I've got to say.
I thought Jota was fortress. I must admit,
Please don't get me started. I was trying not to say anything about him. Oh God, now you made me want. All I want to do is rant about him because he was fucking awful. Every ball he had, he was either getting in the way of the other players or giving it away. I mean, he was actually detrimental. It was like playing with 10, not just with playing with 10 men, but like they had an extra man because he kept giving them the ball. And at a point when was it Szoboszlai was about to take a shot and he just kicked it off his toe. And it's like he was falling over anyway. What the fucking hell was he even trying to take that shot? It was clear that Szoboszlai had that under control. What was it? Just get out the way. That should have been what he was doing. Instead, he fell over and took the shot. It's like, I just wanted. I just really do not like him as a player anyway. I think he's god awful. But he scores, and then he scores goals, and you just think, fuck's sake.
Yeah,
you want, you're thinking this is so frustrating because he's terrible. He shouldn't be there, but he scores goals, so you want him there. It's like it's so. You can't decide what's best. I think he's just not good enough to play for Liverpool, I've got to say, though. I don't care how many goals he scored. I think we'd have scored more.
I thought second half, Chelsea were the better side, second half. I'm surprised that Liverpool only had 37% possession, was it? 37 or 39% possession.
It did change
Chelsea, they had more of the ball then.
It did change when Klopp made substitutions and Pochettino made his substitutions, which made it even worse because Klopp's substitutions improved matters, whereas Pochettino's just seemed to make his team worse. And I know what you're saying about James going out injured again is like, that they got no one to replace him that's as good as him, but they know he's injury prone. So the only problem there, that I don't have any sympathy for them for not having a player who can play there, because they made him captain stupidly. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was surprising to me that James was the captain.
Yeah, I mean he can't stay fit. You can't have a player like that as your captain. He shouldn't be any. To be honest, I still think they've made a mistake even keeping him. I think they should have got rid of him. Where you make a huge amount of money for them. For a player that can never stay fit and play 90 minutes for them, what good is he to their team if all he does is he disrupts their flow? They were completely on top against Liverpool up until he got injured. and then they're struggling. And he didn't have the best of games anyway. He wasn't that. He wasn't on his. He wasn't on particularly good. They should have had. They'd have probably have had a lot more goals if he'd have been on form. But his delivery was poor.
Yeah.
But you can't have a
What
player.
did you think of the Salah incident, Chris, when he come off? He obviously wasn't happy. But I like to see that in a player that is not happy to be taken off, to be fair.
And not being funny, he'd scored what?
People are making too much of it, though. People are making too much of it, you know. I think you want players to be upset at not being taken off. But there was a lot of talk about, is he happy? But I think they made too much of it.
It was because he really wanted to get that to extend his record of scoring on the opening day. He's scored 6 times in a row now, is it? And this was his chance to make it number 7. It's already he holds the record for the most opening day goal. The most consecutive goals in opening days, or wherever you'd term it. I think that was what he really wanted to get that. Obviously, he wants the team to win and that as well. But I mean, and he knows he didn't play well. He started off well, but he didn't have a Salah level performance. See, if it was somebody else, you'd be saying he had a good game. But when it's Salah, unless he has an extraordinary game, he's not had a good game by Salah's standards, has he? Unfortunately. What do you think, Seamus? Do you think it was of that incident?
Like Billy said, he wasn't having a go at anyone else. If he was going up there shouting at club, having a feisty affair with someone in the coaching staff, then he can have problem. He was just unhappy that he was getting pulled off when he probably thought maybe he could score a goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he actually wants to continue his record of scoring in the first game every season for the past, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, how many years it's been for him.
Yeah, I didn't see the issue with it at all. I'd be more gutted if he wasn't unhappy to be taken off on the opening day when he's a forward, and Chelsea weren't the strongest defensively.
I thought Harvey Elliott done well when he come on as well. He looked very active to me. He looked, he was really up for it. I thought he'd done well.
And Jones. I think Jones made a huge difference when he came on. I mean, you look at him at the end. He was the one trying to organise the press because Szoboszlai had been shifted to left wing and had dropped too far off. You could see him. He was trying to press and he's like screaming at Szoboszlai, get up, and throw, indicating get up, push into him, you know what I mean? I thought he looks a different player since the end of last season. That Euros has done him the world of good as well. Yeah, I think he could be. He should have started. Let's be honest. I mean, I've got to say that a lot of what happened is that a lot of the bad performances down to Klopp and Linders. They've got to take the blame for the fact that Liverpool didn't win that game because they should have been good enough to win that game. Chelsea were going into it low on confidence. They started the game clearly low on confidence and were struggling for form and were there for the taking. They still looked to have a hangover from last season, and Liverpool could have beaten them quite easily. But Klopp made so many mistakes, not just the tactical system, which is fucking awful. As you know, I think it's a terrible, real mistake. It's too open, it's too narrow. It doesn't work. But he also made errors of selection with Jota up front. What was that all about? Jota can't play there. He's shit there. Why would you play him there? You need to have. You've got Akpo and Nunes to choose from, and you pick Jota. I mean, what kind of? That is borderline moronic to pick Jota over Nunes and.
What did you think about Gakpo playing a bit deeper?
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say. Hakpo in midfield. That was just ridiculous. It doesn't work. He doesn't. He's not a midfielder. He's a decent. He'd be a decent player if you had two defensive midfielders behind him, so he could just do what he wanted. fine. Then I'd say, yeah, he's fine to play there, but you haven't got that. You haven't got a single defensive midfielder on the pitch, because McAllister was hopeless there, to be honest. Really good midfield play. He's good on the ball and that, but defensively he was all over the shop, and he was nowhere near. They just overrun Liverpool because McAllister was not helping at all defensively. And I don't blame him for that. He shouldn't have been there. See, that was the other selection issue. Why play him there? Jones played there for England in the European Championships. The under-21 Championships. He was player of the tournament for England, apparently. Man of the match in the final. Surely you give him a chance there. I mean, you've got to. Well, what else is what is the other choice? Playing McAllister there, who's one of the best midfielders. He's the best midfielder probably in Liverpool's books right now. Put him where he's good. You put the best players in the positions that suit them. Get Salah in further closer to the goal. You play Diaz wide is fine, but you put it instead. It's him that's narrow and Salah wide, which makes no sense because Diaz is a winger, Salah's a wide forward, and then you have Akpo completely out of position. You have Jota who's just hopeless on the ball, playing in a position where he's meant to be creative. There's just so many mistakes at the moment. It was just a really, really bad performance by Klopp and Linders, in my opinion.
I don't think it's Robertson either, the system. I think it puts too much on him. And he didn't look good at all. But in that system, the system you're saying, the inverted fullback. But he didn't look good at all. No. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. The system is set up to suit a team that isn't Liverpool. Not one of those players is in a role that suited their strengths. Not one of them was playing to their strengths. Apart from, even Virgil van Dijk, he wasn't playing to his strengths because he was being left with acres of space to cover with no protection. I don't think there was one player that you could say is playing to their strength. Because even Alisson, he's getting no protection. Yes, he still saved Liverpool from getting a beating, but he shouldn't have been in that position. There's no need for it anyway. Why not just put your system should be set up to suit the players you've got. That's how you should be building the system you play.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
you don't shoehorn players in. That's the kind of thing that gets managers the sack when you do that, because it fails. It always fails. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you consistently pick players out of position, they're not going to perform to their best. Play in positions that don't suit the strengths of their game as well. It's okay if you put them in positions that still suit the strengths of their games, but they're not. It's not their natural position. Then fine, they can get away with it. But you can't. If you'd put somebody at left back who is a centre back. You put, say, Kanate played the left-sided role, where Robertson was. He'd have been able to get away with it because he's a centre-back and he's defensively solid, and that it wouldn't have suited him because it's on the wrong side, and he'd have still been expected to get out wide occasionally when the opportunity presented and that, and it wouldn't have suited him perfectly. But he could get away with it. We've seen it when Gomez was playing well. He could do the left-back role fine. Playing Robertson like that, where his strengths are going forward. Defensively, he's not the best, but getting forward, he's brilliant. So why do you stop him getting forward? Why do you have Diaz, whose natural ability is he wants to be out wide to run at players, get them isolated so he can take them on one-on-one? Why do you have him in the middle where it's congested, where there's 2 or 3 around him, so he's got no space to run at them? And then Salah, you've got the opposite. You've got him. You're playing him out wide where he's isolated, so he can, where you'd want Diaz, the way you want Diaz to play, if anything, instead of where you want Salah. Is you want him in where it's congested because he'll make something happen. He can do stuff there, with his quick feet and get quick shots off, or just pull the ball away from them or something. Everything about it is just a mess. It's really. Yeah.
Good goal on it by Liverpool. Really good goal. Great. Yeah. What a ball by Salah. And a good finish by Diaz. But what a good ball that was. The defence splitting past that from the right. And he put it into a perfect place for Diaz to run onto. And it was a good goal. And when I seen Liverpool start, I thought, they're looking really good here. but then it seemed to fade away after the first 20 minutes for me. And I thought Chelsea were actually the better side on the day.
Once Chelsea
I
got their
thought,
confidence up, that was it.
yeah,
Liverpool
yeah,
lost their
yeah.
chance. They should have been, putting them to the sword while they were still struggling. But yeah,
As I say, if that Salah goal had stood, I know it was offside,
yeah,
but if that had stood, I think it would have been a totally different outcome.
yeah.
So,
Could well have been because their confidence were, they could have drained out of
yeah,
Chelsea because they were struggling at that point.
yeah, they were, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, and the penalty could have changed things as well if that had
Yeah,
been given.
very much so.
I mean, you can't tell it might not have been scored, but yeah, but these things happen, and I think at the end of the day, that was probably about the right result for the
Yeah,
way the game went.
yeah.
What
I
about
think
you?
if anyone was going to win, it would have been Chelsea, but there you go.
Yeah, probably. What about you, Seamus? Anything to add? Before we
He's
move,
still with us.
I thought he'd be there. He's still here because we're about to move on to the next game now. Manchester United versus Wolves, where Wolves were it was daylight robbery, wasn't it? Really, let's be honest.
Did I just say Rob? Did you just say robbery?
Oh, yeah. That's how you bring him back. You just mentioned Rob. That's how to get him away. Woke him up straight away. Oh, did you say
Who
Rob?
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? First game of the season, first victory of the season. Let's close the book and let's move on.
I gotta
No,
say.
you can't close the book
Hmm.
because the book is open at a very bad page, which is corruption with VAR. How was that not a penalty? Can anyone tell me why that penalty was not given?
Because it was against Man United.
That was an
I got
absolute
hammered.
disgrace.
You don't
And
get
when you're
penalties
talking
there.
about corruption in football, you've got to look at that and say that stinks of corruption. That'd be given 99 times out of 100. That should be given as a penalty. He absolutely assaulted him, Onana, and that was, I thought it was an absolutely shocking decision. Not just a bad decision, absolutely shocking. And you've got to look at VAR and say, if you don't give that, there's something wrong. There is definitely something wrong with football, and VAR in particular, if them instances aren't given. That was just a joke.
I mean, they clearly reviewed it because they stopped to have a look at it, and he said, "We'll go wait because they're looking at it." So there's absolutely no excuse. The fact that they even had to look at it should have said there's an issue here.
Yeah. That's just not on that. That's blatant cheating for me. I'll say it like I think it is, and that's cheating. And I don't like it, and it brings into question the integrity of the officials, and that's just not right. And if they want to be taken seriously, they've got to get decisions like that right. That's not a borderline decision. That is an absolute, as you said before, that you don't like is the Stonewall. That was as much of a penalty as you'll ever see in football.
I was as blatant as you get. Yeah, I mean, if they're reviewing it, I mean, surely the fact that they had to review it should have been enough to say, oh, that's definitely a penalty. I mean, it's as blatant as you get. Yeah, I mean, Seamus will probably say otherwise, but I don't think you can argue that should have been given, really. I've got to say, Wolves were really good.
Yeah, they
Much
surprised
better
me,
time, but they
Wolves.
just can't score goals, which is an issue they've had for a long time. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
If they can start scoring, if they get maybe that Fabio Silva gets off on a run, they could be a genuine threat. They've got that Gomez in midfield looks really good. Defensive midfielder they've got there, he looks really good. Nunes playing in front of him, whoa, he was excellent, really, everywhere. Who else was?
I was surprised how good they were. They were very good Wolves, and deserved a lot more than they got out of the game for staying.
I really enjoyed their performance as well. The way they played, they gave.
Yeah.
They don't quite have the quality in certain areas of the pitch, But yeah, I was
Their,
gonna,
their
just
trouble,
about to.
their trouble seems to have united them as a group.
Yeah, they were apparently they've been playing really well in pre-season, according to what they'd read on the Wolves site. The way they'd been talking about the games. They've been playing really well in pre-season. So this probably shouldn't have been a surprise, but it did surprise me. I got to say. What also I was interested to see is Casemiro back to what I'd always thought he was, where he's a bit slow, immobile, struggled to keep up with the pace of play, and he was really poor, really poor. Not as bad as the guy on the right. What's his face? Anthony.
Anthony.
Oh my God, he's abysmal. I just don't see it in him. I just do not see anything in him at all.
No.
Wolves were bound to have a very good performance when Prediction King predicted them to be the 20th, the last rock bottom team.
Who did that? Was that Billy said that, did he?
No, yes, truly.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. No wonder then. Trying to think who did perform well for Man United. I tell you, it's a shame Martinez injured. That could have cost you. Oh yeah, Garnacho, he was poor, but like he's just a kid. He was just trying too hard.
Mason Mount, 0 goals, 0 assists. Obviously a flop now.
Yeah.
Well, it's just he wasn't that bad. I didn't think he was as bad as people.
I thought he was poor, Chris. I thought he was poor, Mason Mount.
I just thought
I expected better.
You don't think he just looked like a player who didn't know his teammates, rather than it was a bad performance? It was just like a player who was still trying to learn how to play with the team he's playing with.
I think you try to affect the game when you're a new player at a new club, a big club like Man United. I think you try to affect the game more than he actually. He didn't look on his game. He didn't look a threat, and I thought he was very poor. I expected better from Mason Mount.
I just thought it didn't work with Bruno, was what I thought. I thought the two of them were a bit in each other's way. Like I said, they're still learning to play together. I don't know what you thought, Seamus. Oh, back in a minute. He's just put so.
No, it was before.
4 minutes ago.
No. I was gone and back.
All right. Okay. We didn't notice. You're that. It's that riveting talking to you. Nobody noticed you were gone. So go on. What did you think of the Bruno Casemiro Mount midfield?
I didn't watch the game. Firstly.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And because we won, I'm not sure I'm gonna watch this game either.
Oh, it's horrible when that happens. It is horrible when that happens. What I did though is I just took it. It's only that particular team I wouldn't watch for Liverpool. When Liverpool won a game when I wasn't able to watch for some reason, I missed. Well, I remember I was away on holiday and I got the times mixed up. So I missed the game against Tottenham because of the times. And Liverpool absolutely battered them. So for the next 6 years, I wouldn't watch the game against Tottenham because I wouldn't watch it until they didn't batter them. And unfortunately, they kept battering them. So I wasn't able to watch us play Tottenham for years. And every single game, it'd be our best performance of the season. Every single time, it'd be like, oh. But I wouldn't watch it at all. Not even watch it back later, just in case. Because in case.
I think you've got to watch the team. I think you've got to watch your team if they're on. I think that's the whole point, is to watch your team play.
Support them. But I'm superstitious and I can understand why he's saying, I'm not sure if I can watch him, you know what I mean? I'd just take it Wolves. Don't watch Wolves play them again. I wouldn't take it as all the teams because I couldn't stay away from watching them that long. But anyway, you've got no actual opinion on how
but the thing is, that was my issue with the whole Mount signing in the summer as well. He currently is a very similar profile to what Bruno is for us.
Yeah.
No wonder it's gonna take them time to perform as a unit, and who knows if they can actually gel as a unit or not.
Yeah, they were right in each other's way. I thought that was the problem, rather than I don't think it was that Mount had a bad game as much as he was just constantly getting into it. They were getting in each other's spaces and that. And I think that's just as much Bruno as him. You've got to say, because there's two players that either of them could have figured it out. Bruno, as the captain, should have been directing him. I was saying to him, I'm going to take this space. You make a run there, or you drop back, or whatever. But he should have been directing him. He's the captain. As such, he should be taking control of the situation, and he didn't. So I think that's a bit harsh that Mount's getting all the criticism. But I suppose
Yeah, 0 goals and 0 assists. For those who don't know, you don't know. For those who know, you know the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I thought you were poor. Though. I thought you were poor, United. They didn't seem to be at the races. They never had a spell of pressure, where you could say, "Oh, you're going to get a goal here." They didn't have nothing like that. And Wolves were by far the better team. Or was that just me?
No, they didn't They didn't have any real threat. They didn't look. They miss a striker badly. So yeah, we know who that'll be.
Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund.
Højlund. He can't play 2 games a week though, can he?
Not for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he's got bad back. In case you're wondering, Bill. Don't know if you heard about
that. Is that what it is? No.
He has a.
What was decided for?
That wasn't discovered when Billy was around.
Well, I can't remember what it was because Gerrard had a similar problem early on. Caused him a lot of injury problems early on, and a lot to play. Even I can remember it long before players telling me about having back problems as when they were young. It's quite a common thing. It's growth. It's a growth thing usually, and they grow out of it. They have I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, yeah, it's just you can't play every game. Basically, you need to have a break and give it time to recover in between. He's a kid though, isn't he, Højlund? Was he 20?
21?
21?
I think he just turned 21.
And I know people think that players, as soon as these days, players seem to think that fans seem to think that players are mature at 12 nowadays. That's how it seems, judging by the comments on Twitter and that. Yeah, but
no, he's not turned 21 actually. He's 20.
Yeah, so I was right. 20. That's nice to be right for a change. It's not often that happens. In fact, the missus tells me I'm never right.
No,
so.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous how young he is.
He's only just a bit younger than me.
No, it just something just doesn't seem right to me when I see players younger than me.
Oh, it gets worse, Seamus, don't worry.
Every year it is. Every year it is getting worse, obviously.
Seb G's asking if anybody's got any info on Benjamin Pavard. The only info I've got on him is he's shit, and I wouldn't want him anywhere near Liverpool if that's who he's asking for. Christ,
no, he's asking for Man United, and my opinion on Benjamin Pavard is that he is a poor man's Lindelof. I'm not.
Yeah, that's a very good description.
A good player on the ball, lacks physically.
Oh, terribly weak.
Not slow, but slower on the slower end of spectrum.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, he's not even proven in the Premier League. All of these assumptions I'm making are from Bundesliga matches and Champions League matches.
And the Bundesliga is weak compared to the Premier League.
Yeah. Physicality is not the same.
And he's
pace is not the same.
Bad in the Bundesliga. Even though he keeps saying he's a centre back, they won't play him at centre back because he can't play there. He's not good enough, and he's not a very good right back either.
I think Lindelof would look a brilliant player in Bundesliga or La Liga.
Yeah, I think he'd look a lot better there. Because the physicality is much lower. It'd only be the odd now and again when he'd come up against someone who'd give him trouble, but those kind of players soon head off to the Premier League, like Nicholas Jackson who went to Chelsea. I've got to say was very impressive, to be fair, at the weekend.
He was okay, Jackson. I didn't think he was great, but
Ah,
I thought he was okay. He's all right.
he's Gunners. He's Arsenal. He's just asked to, do the Gunners have any chance to sign Cancelo? I don't know. You had more chance with Caicedo because he'd said he was a childhood fan of Chelsea, of Arsenal before Chelsea, just after Man United, and before
Before
Real
Real
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Real Madrid in between.
Yeah, I'm confused actually. Which was it before or after? How many? Is he one of those ones? I bet he's got 3,000 of those half and half scarves for just about every team in the world. He's probably the only one. Yeah, Cancelo. Well, I don't think he'll be going to Arsenal because I don't think Pep would
He's
sell
going
him.
to he's going to Barcelona, isn't he?
I thought so. Yeah,
Cancelo.
looks that way. Be a
Right,
good
yeah.
signing for them. I think he suits La Liga and he suits Barcelona's play.
I think it should be Real Madrid for him, but that's just my opinion.
They need him more, but they've got I don't think they mind how the fucking hell can Barca afford him? They're still well over the salary cap, aren't they?
It's but them being able to afford him is because Dembele is moved on,
Yeah.
and I think they want him on loan with an option or an obligation to buy in the future. They can't spend money right now.
He's on loan. I didn't realise it was a loan move. I missed that. I thought it was a permanent deal because he's looking to get out of there permanently.
Oh, it's a clue for anyone that reads Barca being linked with the play. If it's reported to be on a loan with future permanent option, then it might be true. Otherwise, it's not possible.
I mean, it's insane that they can be a billion in debt. Then on top of that, take out a mortgage on their new stadium, for upgrading their stadium, and paying for a stadium to use in the meantime, and extra other things as well as paying for. And that's well over another billion on top of it. So basically, they're now got over 2 billion that they owe, and they're still able to sign players at will and pay them ridiculous salaries. It is unreal. I just do not understand how it works. If that's not what FFP should be, it should be stopping. Then I don't understand the point of it.
I don't understand the point of it anyway, because there seems to be a lot of teams who are spending a hell of a lot of money who aren't even involved in the financial fair play league. And I don't know how teams do it. I know they're in big trouble because we have absolutely wasted money and spent big wages. But some teams seem to be spending twice as much as ever now, and nothing seems to come of the financial fair play rules. I just don't understand it. I don't.
He's now asking if Arsenal are going to try and get someone with timber out for a while, because he's branches. Sorry, yeah. I won't go through all the wood jokes. I'll leave it. I was going to. Yeah, they're trying to get. He suggested Aymeric Laporte. He's already moved, hasn't he? He's gone to the Saudi League, hasn't he?
Saudi League.
Yeah. Or play with...
I can suggest an England international centre back.
Harry Maguire's available. You're right. Oh, be a brilliant signing for Arsenal.
The stars align.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was holding out for when he turned down West Ham.
Maybe Arteta brought him down to somewhere equivalent of Blackpool for Arsenal.
The equivalent.
I don't know what that would be.
Where would that be? Where would the Blackpool for Arsenal
Norfolk.
Be? No.
It would be Norfolk.
Margate. Margate.
Kiss me quick. Oh God. Maybe Windsor, another Windsor, because it's a bit posh, but a posh southern version of Blackpool, isn't it? And the reason why I say sunny, I've just realised you won't even get the joke. I lived in Windsor for a while, only for a short while, right? And I was sat on a bench outside the castle. I don't know if you've ever seen Windsor. The castle is in the centre of the town. Basically, the whole centre of the town is Windsor Castle, and the shopping streets are on the outside of the other side of the road from the castle. So you're sitting out. So I'm sat outside there's a big bank behind you, and then it's massive castle walls behind you. And I was sat there, and one day these Americans came up to me and said to me, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the castle is?" I just looked at them, turned round and looked up behind me, and looked up, and then looked back at them and said, "No, I haven't got a fucking clue, mate, sorry." I just couldn't believe it. Sorry, yeah, anyway, so, yeah, I don't know where they'd take. But, yeah, I think Harry Maguire would be a great signing for Arsenal, for every other team that's competing with them, anyway. Who else would be available for them? I've not heard of them linked with anyone. Maybe they're just going to... Oh, I did think it was a bit of a strange choice to play him at left-sided centre-back. Anyway, I mean, that's a bit of an odd choice, isn't it? I don't know if you saw that.
I looked at the team sheet and I didn't really understand what was happening there.
Yeah, it was very odd. He played like left-sided centre-back. They played almost a back three, and Timber was left-sided centre. And it was really odd because he's not a left-sided centre-back at all. He's not a centre-back. Let's be honest. He's not a. They'll get found out if he was playing, so it might have done them a favour him getting injured, to be honest. Because I'll have to put somebody else there who can actually play there, I suppose I was going to say Tierney, but he'll get injured.
Zinchenko.
Yeah, well, Zinchenko doesn't really...
Zinchenko, yeah.
But Zinchenko's really a midfielder who can play fullback, isn't he? So it kind of suits the inverted centre-back, the inverted fullback role, but he's not... But... Timber was playing inside that rather than as the inverted inverted fullback. Who's playing
the BBC had the team as a 4-3-3 with Partey at right back, Saliba and White in the centre, Timber as left back.
It really wasn't. I didn't see it as that at all. It was more back three. In actual fact, I never really saw Partey at right back. He was sort of right-sided, yeah, but he was more midfield. He was very much in midfield as a defensive midfielder, really. I don't know.
Right, boys, I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave. I've got an irate woman pointing at a clock.
Yes, you've got to take her out, yes.
I'm taking her out, yeah.
He's showing you how it's done, Seamus, how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
I hope my missus has stopped listening to this.
You're getting fired chips and like it.
I'm just hoping she's not listening because she'll be expecting me to take her out next, and I ain't,
So thanks very much, boys, for today. I enjoyed it, and anyone who's listening, thanks for listening, and I will see you next Thursday.
Take care, mate.
Thanks,
see you next Thursday. Thank you for this.
Yeah, thanks, Seamus. Ta-ra, mate.
Yeah, ta-ra. See you next Thursday, Billy.
Ta-ra.
So we can't really talk about Man United with you, really, if you didn't watch it. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Haven't we finished talking about them anyways?
Well, we had to because I was hoping you'd have something to add to it from watching it, but you didn't see it. That was a bit because Wolves were really good, but Man United was so poor. I just wanted your take on what was going wrong there. I mean, it was. I'm trying to think of a good performance.
I don't know how we played because I didn't watch the game. I've read a few excerpts and all that. It's never a good way to judge a team.
No,
my opinion is just that it's the first game of the season. Let's see how we get on.
Yeah, but what worries me?
Listen to this. My opinion is we lost our first two games last season. At least we managed to luck our way into a victory.
But I was going to say, I just got shades of Liverpool last season, where the players were clearly unfit at the start of the season because they messed up the pre-season schedule, going abroad before the players were, not getting them fit first before they went on the tour and stuff like that. And I thought United had a similar pre-season this year to prepare for the season. The players weren't properly fit and stuff. I think that's what they look like. They look like Liverpool last season, where they just weren't ready for the season to start, or even close to it, and they messed up the pre-season, and they're going to need to sort that out quickly, because otherwise, a team with a goal scorer is going to punish them. There was
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what worries me. It's all very well saying it's just the first game, but if you've prepared for it badly and you're nowhere near fit, that's a worry. Because you looked at Casemiro, he looked. I mean, he wasn't. Oh, he didn't look over like he often looks to be carrying too much weight at Real Madrid because the training, the training isn't the strongest there. They don't work them hard. They let them do what they want. Basically, don't really push them. And so he was often ridiculously overweight, and he looked like he was towing a caravan when he was running because of it and stuff like that. But against Wolves, he looked fit. You know what I mean? He didn't look like he was carrying extra weight at all. He looked lean, but he looked like, but he also played like he was carrying that extra weight, and he was towing a caravan behind him. He was really slow and off the pace and that. I mean, it could just be rustiness, but you would have thought that's the whole point of pre-season, is to get that out of his legs. And if it was just one or two players, but it wasn't. It was every player looked out off it apart from Martinez. But you'd expect that of him because he's that type of person. He was very, he's too aggressive and too focused and too ready, isn't he? He's never going to be a player that's going to look half baked in terms of fitness, and that is just not his way. Though he did get injured, which suggests maybe his fitness wasn't that good.
Could be. It's gonna be an interesting watch for the next couple of
Mm. Well, it won't
weeks
be
for
for you
sure.
because you're not watching them because they won without you. So it'll be
No,
interesting
no,
for the
you've
rest of us.
you've given me look. You've given me an out. Let's see if I'm gonna take it or not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's what I'd do anyway. If it was me, when it happened to me, I was too superstitious to watch them play Tottenham because of that. But I couldn't miss all the other games as well. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I tried, but it was like, you just watch it anyway. And yeah, I
And
just
hope for
can't.
the best.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to watch them, haven't you? You can't resist it. I really, it used to kill me not watching the Tottenham games. Just one game is, 2 games a season. Sorry, used to kill me, absolutely kill me. And that, so yeah, I couldn't manage more. I found it really hard getting here, just watching it on a crappy feed because you couldn't really watch it properly. So I'm really glad now that I found the proper way to watch it. Which is really good. It's free as well. You don't pay anything. So anybody's thinking of what to do about watching the games, and they want to watch like the 3 o'clock Saturdays or whatever, they can't just get a VPN and set it to the Philippines, and you can watch it free by downloading the Setanta Sports app. But you didn't hear that from me. Just like to say. And I would not, obviously, I'm not condoning any kind of illegal activity or anything like that. I was just saying it's possible, just in case anybody was wondering. You know. What else is there to talk about? Have we missed anything, like any more signings or anything? Because there
Mm,
must be stuff that
I
you wanted to talk about that we haven't got round to.
not really, except Bellingham scored on his debut.
Yeah, yeah.
Bayern lost, which I already mentioned.
How with Harry Kane? That's brilliant. No, that really is. That is world class. That is. That's the kind of thing that makes it worth watching football for, isn't it?
I've come to realize that I don't know why I enjoy making fun of Spurs.
I think that's just a Spurs thing. Everyone does. You can't help it. Uh, what about the Arsenal situation? Raya, as we've got an Arsenal fan on there instead. What about the Raya or Ramsdale for you?
I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of Raya either. I know you think he's a very decent choice, but
He
I'm
was
not
from
that
Brentford.
enamored by him.
I'm not sure how good he is with his feet. That's the issue. Because like he played for Brentford and he wasn't expected to get the ball down and play it out from the back. Do you know that's one thing that I've noticed this there is what's with this new fad? It's another new fad they have. Is the one of where goal kicks. Why is it now the goalkeeper goes to the middle of the goal, the defender takes it to the corner of the penalty box, the 6 yard box, to take the goal kick to pass it to the keeper, like 3-4 yards to his
That,
side. What's that about?
that's too big brain for me to try and decipher.
I
I
mean,
can't get around that.
why can't a goalkeeper just pass to the defender, who's a little bit further out and so spreads the play a bit? Why is that? What is helpful about passing it 2 yards back to a goalkeeper in the centre of the goal, where it's condensing the play and giving the opposition the opportunity to press you? How is that helpful? It just seems to be, I know the risk and reward thing is that there's certain things that I can understand. That playing a goal like Onana coming out of his game, playing a really high line behind the defence. I understand the risk in that. There's a chance somebody's going to chip it over the top, and each time there's no chance he's going to be able to do anything about it because he's so far off his goal. But it's risk and reward thing, and 99% of the time it'll be an advantage to have him in that position. That I get. I understand that kind of thing. But I do not see the advantage that's gained from having a defender take the ball to the corner of the 6 yard box to take a goal kick by passing it to a goalkeeper in the centre of the goal. I do not understand what the point is in it. And I'm
Can the
really,
goalkeeper not just take it from the side? Or can the goalkeeper not take it from the middle?
well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There's absolutely no reason to do this. It's just taking an extra kick for the sake of it, and it just creates the opportunity for an error. I mean, if he miskicks or stumbles as he goes to take it, and he ends up fluffing it, and it goes to either an attacker nips in and steals it, or it goes behind the goalkeeper and he's having to run back and make an emergency save, which goes to a striker that puts it in, or there's all kinds of possibilities, but it's just risk. There's no actual reward for it. Is what I'm saying is I can't figure out the reward that you can get from this play. I wish
Yeah,
somebody could explain it to
I
me.
agree. It's not a risk worth taking.
Yeah, it's just a risk. There's no reward. It's not like if somebody can explain to me, anybody that's listening could write into any of the sites that and just address it to me, Ed One, and explain to me what the reward is behind playing this goal kick that they're all doing. I mean, I've seen like 6 or 7 teams do it over the weekend, and not once did it actually produce any real difference or any significant advantage to the team. So, can somebody please explain to me what the reward is from doing this? It's just rather than just risk. What is it? There must be one. They must have thought it's got an advantage of some kind, or they wouldn't be doing it. Whether they're right or not is a different question. I mean, but they must actually think it does something of significant improvement rather than just taking a normal goal kick from the goalkeeper playing it. Yeah, no. If anybody explain it to me, please do. If you're listening, Mikhail, I know you're a avid listener to the podcast. Oh shit. Yeah, yeah, as if. Yeah, if he's there, feel free to explain it to me, please, because I do not get it. Some of these things, it just seems to be literally just a fad, doesn't it? Rather than there's any real thought behind it. It's like they see somebody else do it and they think, oh, that worked for them. That was really good. Let's do that. Rather than that's how it feels anyway. That's what this feels like. But I'm assuming that the first person who thought of it must have thought it gave them an advantage of some kind.
It's He's just trying to be clever for the sake of being clever.
That is exactly how it feels, and that's what I think it is, which is why I'm asking for somebody to explain it to me and prove me wrong. Oh. So do you like this inverted fullback system?
I think I think City did it the right way with John Stones because it's a much less of a physical stress and also much less distance to be covered by the centre back moving forward.
Hmm.
The centre back can move 5 yards forward and he'll basically be where a defensive midfielder would be.
Yeah, but that's
But
not
that's not the
that's not an
yeah,
inverted
but that's
fullback.
not what the yeah, but that's not with fullbacks. For
Yeah,
fullbacks, it's literally half the pitch.
yeah, exactly. They're cutting in and they're going across in front of the defence as well, so they're getting in each other's eye line and that as well.
Yeah, so if you're gonna copy from someone, then at least copy the right idea.
And it's what it is. He's gone back to his basic, the original way he used to play it, except rather than having it was Rafael Marquez, wasn't it? The Mexican player. Was that him? Was it Rafael Marquez? When he first started, that's who he played. That was how he had him doing it. Was stepping out of defence into midfield. So he's just gone back to his original system in a way, to a large degree. Pep. It's not like this is new to him. This is how he used to play it. Sometimes it's the simple way. If you want an extra body in midfield, then just step someone forward from defence and have one less body in defence. That's exactly what Johan Cruyff said to do, which is who Pep took his teachings off, was Johan Cruyff. That's why he used to play three at the back, so he could have an extra body in midfield. He would literally play a back three, not a semi three. It was literally just a back three, so he could have an extra body in midfield. Anyway, yeah, is there anything else? Because I can't think of anything. I think we've pretty much done, haven't we, for today?
I would think so.
Okay then. Thank you for that then, Seamus. Thank you all that's listened. Any of you have listened this long and haven't fallen
Why?
asleep like Seamus did partway through.
No,
Uh,
I didn't fall asleep.
for a change. You normally do. Normally we get partway through and we hear this. And it's
No, I'm very savvy about it. I turned off my microphone.
only sometimes, mate. Only sometimes. Cal's still here. Wow. I wonder if he's my cousin Cal, and that's why he's listening. Maybe it's a family thing. Because my cousin's called Cal, just in case you're wondering. Yeah, I wonder if that's why he's listening. Because I can't imagine anybody but a relative would listen this long. Yeah. Thanks for listening, though, Cal. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's it then. So we'll see you next. Hello, you're not my cousin Cal then, because I haven't seen him for a long time. He's a child actor. You don't really see him. He doesn't mix with the riff-raff like me. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see you next Thursday, everyone. Thank you for listening. I'm on set. Take care, mate. Bye, Seamus.
See you next Thursday.
That's what I was waiting for.
Now we're just reading the